me! Oh, hello there, it's me, Bacho, here with another film review for you of John Wick 4 this time. Now, John Wick Chapter 4 is the latest film by director Christopherson, or whatever the fuck. Nah, I'm just joking. John Wick 4, you'll know what it is. I'm sure many of you have probably gone and seen it yourself already because it's just one of those type of films. Its release kind of crept up on me because I didn't really see that much marketing running up to its premiere. All of a sudden it was just out and I was like, oh shit, John Wick 4, fair enough. So here's the situation, here's the hot dog, here's the hot take of mine. This is a really good film. Let's just get that out in the open. First things first, let's our priorities straight. I've seen John Wick 1 to 3, I think maybe 2 is my favourite. With John Wick 4 I was expecting another good movie, and I think I may even have gotten a great movie out of this new one. So this is a film series that revolves entirely around the action, and they structure themselves in ways that complement that creative decision, as in the plots are very simple and character driven, and it gets straight to the point, and for the most part they embody a Mad Max Fury Road type structure, where they just retain a constant roller coaster of action that keeps slanting upwards in terms of how ridiculous and extravagant it gets as it goes on, and it's wonderful and imaginative and exciting. Essentially all these films are formatted in the best possible ways, where all of their strengths are at the forefront and all of their weaknesses are hidden a little bit, or off to the side. I don't go to a John Wick film for an emotive story, and they never try and pretend that that's what they're trying to do. They never take themselves too seriously. They don't behave as if they have these profound messages that would be completely unearned. They made these films with the intentions of essentially putting all of the love into the action, and it's not manipulatively pretending to be anything else. So yeah, as far as John Wick 4's action is concerned, it's a brilliant, brilliant movie. With this fourth film especially, I think they've really outdone themselves, because I don't remember the previous films having choreography and cinematography this good. This is almost a masterpiece of an action set piece. The cinematography and just the ways in which the camera is utilised within the scenes is endlessly meticulous. Every shot has hundreds of moving parts. You can follow it the whole time. It never obscures what's going on. It doesn't lazily cut around the action. What they've achieved here is monumental, and that is evident just when you watch the scenes. Namely, I'm talking about a particular shot which involves a continuous bird's eye perspective, and that just serves as a culmination of all of this skill and effort that's been put into this movie. I really can't put it into words, I just prefer you watch it for yourself. That did a lot to cement this movie as great, but then it's followed by another amazing sequence involving a staircase, which was also just endlessly joyous to sit through. And there's such an excess of action, but it never gets tiring or drawn out. You are always utterly captivated by what's on screen, and that is what the experience of going to the cinema is all about. And speaking of the cinema, these films are fantastic to go see with audiences, because the audience reactions are priceless. You, along with everyone else sitting there, get so involved in what's going on. There's so many audible reactions to scenes. I've only seen this one and John Wick 2 in the cinema, and I remember John Wick 2 being also one of the best movie theatre experiences of my life. You witness action that is so overwhelmingly cool that you just have to make some random noise of, oh, that's really cool. It's stuff like, oh, or t, or oh, or fucking hell. Stuff like that. You're so delighted and impressed by the filmmaking. It really makes me so much more positive about the whole going to the theatre experience. Because usually you just think of all the bad stuff like babies crying or kids talking, or in my case, fucking adults talking. They're always just chatting shit. Like, oh, who's that? What's this? Oh, he's not a goodie, is he? Like, fuck off. It's a communal experience that's comparable to going to church. Fuck off. This film also includes a moment that is very squeamish and gory, which gets just another reaction out of the audience. I've noticed that all of these John Wick films include at least one or two really gory, fucked up scenes that make you just go, oh shit, but laugh at the same time. So yeah, I do expect most of the people watching this video to have seen it already, so it's not like a recommendation thing, it's just like a sharing of our mutual love for what we just saw. We're just all agreeing that we had a really good time. Like, yeah, I loved it. Did you love it too? Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, buddy! Fuck off. Tempering our excitement a little bit and moving away from the action, The dialogue is definitely very derivative and dumb and pretty shit. But again, it's okay because the film doesn't focus on that and pretend like that's profound or anything. It's just a means to get to the next action set piece. However, I still do enjoy and root for John Wick's character because Keanu Reeves plays it with this almost meta-awareness of the meme of what John Wick and Keanu Reeves is. He's perfectly aware of his place in Hollywood at this point, and he perfectly mimics the charm of these old B-movies actors who have very little to say and are seemingly one note but also very endearing somehow.
I don't sit at the table. I'm going to need a gun.
It has that meta aspect about it, but it never ever gets to that point where it's winking and looking at the camera and saying, I get it, and all that shit. It never cringely directly acknowledges it through like obvious dialogue. It's just meta in and of itself. It's taking the mick out of these old B movies, but also celebrating them. It's both at the same time silly and stupid, but also really cool.
Maybe not.
Additionally, this film is a straight up comedy, because a lot of the action is presented in this visually humorous way, almost like a Buster Keaton film. So many times was the audience just laughing out loud as well. It was just a really joyous occasion. Without watering itself down, it strikes this perfectly self-aware, funny tone, and I really don't know how they achieve that. There's this one character that appears who seems to be in this extremely obvious looking fat suit, and then in the scene directly following that, you realise why that's the case, because they have this character do stunts that would literally be impossible for someone of that weight to do. So they've got this extremely athletic and fit stuntman to just wear this suit, but it's really funny because his head does not match his body at all, but in the context of what this movie is, it kind of fits the tone. I liked all of the different colourful characters in here, the guy with the dog, the blind man, Ian McShane, and even though before I was saying how stupid the writing was, I still did care and was rooting for these three main characters, and I found them cool and I found their camaraderie satisfying. It's just a classic cool, oh look at us, we're two badasses and now we're going to team up to fight the villain. Bill Skarsgård was playing the villain in this, and I have to say I didn't really enjoy his performance. His performance kind of fell into the more derivative, trite and annoying category. Every time it cut to him, my interest kind of dipped, but it did help that every time he'd come on screen, he'd usually be stood within some amazingly beautiful, elaborate set, and I didn't expect to see such ornate cinematography within a John Wick film, because some of this shit was reminding me of Barry Lyndon with some of these sets. Just these staggering and monumental locations. Even though I didn't enjoy his villain, I really did like Clancy Brown's involvement. He fit the tone perfectly. But honestly, John Wick 4 has the same caliber of cinematography as some of the most revered art house films. Yeah, this is the best John Wick film that I've seen by quite some distance. It's certainly my favourite. I didn't get this strong a reaction from the other ones. They were still really good, but like this one really did it for me. Really scratched all of those itches, really titillated all of those senses. Ooh. One minor nitpick I might have with it, and I feel even bad for bringing this up, but the CGI blood, like the obvious CGI blood, it's a very present thing and I always notice it in movies and I don't like it. I just don't like the look. But that being said, there are so many deaths and so many kills in this movie that it's almost inevitable, and I understand why they're there. And really this film is being so extensive in all other areas already, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, I recommend John Wick. You should all go see it if you haven't already. It's actually better than Morbius.
I'm going to need a gun.
Okay, the review's over now, but I'm just going to give you a little channel update if you're interested. So, essentially there hasn't been as much content coming out as frequently recently, and that's because in the last couple of weeks I've been working on a different kind of project that takes a little bit more time to prepare. But unfortunately, due to various technical difficulties, I've had to postpone that project. And now I've decided to just get on with a few more film reviews in the meantime. But ultimately, I'm starting to prioritise making big passion projects instead of just delivering these quick little reviews of new releases. Believe it or not, I have loads of these ideas that I've written down that I just haven't acted on, which I really just want to get into. So yeah, that's why it's been a bit of a weird state of uploading, or whatever the hell you say. I know it's chaotic and I know it's random, but the last thing I want this channel to be is like formulaic and just like a cynical production line of just, yeah, today is when I make this video, today is when I make that kind of video. Like, I don't want to do that, so that's why it's ever changing and like it's a bit messy, but fuck it. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, and if you have like criticisms of how I'm doing things, I don't mind hearing a few of those comments, really. Sometimes you do have to be a bit brutally honest with people, so yeah, go ahead, roast me. And on that bombshell, it's good night.